The Ursa Mini is gone?
Pro.
Here we go. It's not too late to back up your data, and it's not too late to win those two LaCie 6TB drives. So get over to theslantedlens.com and win. Hi, this is JP Morgan.
And this is Kenneth Merrill.
And it's time for another review here on the Slanted Lens. But first off, we should thank our sponsor, Roscoe. Roscoe sponsors all of our reviews, and it's just great to have them on board to be able to make this happen. So thank you to Roscoe. Check out their products. Make great lights, great gels, just great things for Roscoe.
Yeah.
So, and their gaff tech is pretty good too. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Ursa Mini Pro, and in what format are we going to talk about that?
So we felt like we got the Ursa Mini Pro has the same sensor as the previous Ursa Mini, and so we felt like rather than doing a technical review, we would do a working review. We'd pull it onto a real project. JP shot a Kickstarter for this really cool light meter product, and
It's called Illuminati.
The Illuminati. I was the first AC / lighting helper for that.
That's the way we always are.
Yeah, we always are. So we got a good sense of how the camera works in a real environment rather than just, all the technical things.
Yeah. So let's just talk about those things. Let's just do a quick review of the specs.
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of where the camera's at. We know it's a Super 35. I mean, none of this has changed really.
Yeah. Super 35, 4.6K.
15 stops of dynamic range.
Might be a little generous.
Every camera manufacturer is a little generous.
The only camera manufacturer that's dishonest in the other direction is Arri. They call it 14 stops, and it's really like 15.
Get an extra stop.
An extra stop for free. It has a interchangeable mount this time, Canon, PL, Nikon, or B4, which is pretty cool because there are a lot of those servo zooms out there that are super cheap now because who uses B4 lenses anymore, Frame rates, 24 to 60.
So we have 60 frames. I mean, really, the specs have stayed the same.
Yeah.
They did change the camera body, though.
Dramatically.
I mean, dramatically. There's hard switches to turn it on and off. There's hard switches to hit the ISO.
Yep.
There's hard switches for everything. I found those interesting. I mean, being on a tripod, I'm trying to get my fingers up there. It's not like I'm holding it in an ENG kind of situation. I'm hitting those things, and sometimes it was in the beginning, a little difficult for me, but after I got used to it, it started to make sense.
It's hard switches. It's always a tough thing because, you have like the Arri approach where there are like 6 buttons, and it's all very simple in the layout. And then you have like the Sony approach where there are about 110 buttons, and it's like every single function you could possibly want is on the body. And there are nice things to both. I feel like this was kind of in between where you had some things were on the body, some things were accessible by menu. It seemed like there were a lot of programmable functions. I liked it a lot better than the old body, personally.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
The old one was just like 3 buttons on the outside. You had to open the screen to turn it on.
Yep.
It was just a mess. This one was a lot nicer in that sense.
Love the touchscreen aspect of this.
Yeah, the touchscreen was
You could
nice.
punch in and out just by punching, to punch
Change
in
your
and out.
ISO.
That a lot of the touchscreen was really nice. I didn't love the screen. The pop-out screen seemed like, I mean, if you were off at all, it was just really...
Yeah, you look at it from this side and it's all green. And you look at it from this side, it's all magenta.
That was not my favorite part. The EVF, though, I thought was clean and clear, and it was good. I mean, for me, it worked out great. But
let me just interject here. I'm kind of shivering a little bit because it's like a freezing 60 degrees in here. So
it's 60 degrees in California. Cold. How will we survive?
Send supplies.
Please. Send warm coats. Want to get a jacket?
No, I didn't bring a jacket because I'm a dummy. Because it's 60 degrees, who needs a jacket? The EVF was nice. I mean, it's same EVF as we had before. There's a little bit of jitter. That's my only complaint, is I feel like when I move it, there's a little bit of stutter. And other people have talked about that too, and I don't know.
That's interesting.
The thing
so there's a little bit of lag in it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's lag. It's almost like a low frame rate or something. That's what it feels like to me. Like it's at 18 frames per second or something like that. so you don't get all the motion.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about the Blackmagic cameras is that they're super cheap for what they do, which means that all of the components in the camera are the cheapest components that they can find. They are
Is that really
the
true?
minimum viable product. Oh, it has to be true. That's the only way you can do a 4.6K RAW camera for $6,000.
$6,000. Which means on the flip side, you're getting a camera that competes with the C300. It competes with some pretty heavy hitters out there for $6,000. So there's going to be a couple of compromises that if you can, I mean, everyone is this way. Oh my word, I wish it did that. Well, it's $6,000, man.
You have to understand, I'm a little bit biased here because I own a $40,000 camera that is competing against this one.
So I think Kenneth might be a little jaded here. It's like,
I wish I could say that my $40,000 camera was miles ahead more reliable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not.
I'm not so sure it is. Yeah.
But I will say, I mean, that's the thing with Blackmagic. And you go on the Blackmagic forums, and it's the same story every time. You'll hear this phrase all the time. If you get a good one, then it's going to be fine. You won't have any problems. If you don't get a good one, I know people have gone through 3 or 4 different bodies.
And they just send them back?
Yeah.
Send them back to get another one?
I mean, the one that we had seemed good.
It seemed great to me.
Didn't have any issues. I mean, there were the sort of weird little, the LCD screen was a little janky, but I like it. It feels almost like a mini Arri Amira to me.
Yeah.
I like the body.
Yeah.
There were some buttons and stuff that didn't quite make sense to me, like, I guess if you use peaking all the time, having a quick button there would make sense. But
I like using peaking.
I would rather have like a designated false color button, whereas that's like something you have to program. So I feel like a lot of it's just like reading the manual,
and
knowing your camera, personal preference.
Yeah. But the one thing for me on this camera that was major is the built-in NDs.
Yeah.
I mean, that moves it into another category completely. It was the one thing that was missing in the first round that just really made it so it kind of fell short. Yeah. But those built-in NDs now, it's now
up to
working.
8 stops.
Up to 8 stops is fabulous. And they're physical NDs. You can turn the dial on the front.
Yep.
Just very easy to get to. Well, I thought the stuff, if you get it on your shoulder, and that shoulder mount, all the controls are right there on your fingers. It's not a bad place to have it. So it worked out really well. I mean, when I had it on the camera on the tripod, and we're locked off doing an interview, and I wanted to change the aperture slightly, if I had that screen open, that aperture button, I couldn't. Yeah. My fingers aren't huge, man. I couldn't get my finger in there to move that thing.
That was one thing. That the iris thing is like a little scroll wheel right in the middle of like 3 other big,
Yeah, and right next to where the screen comes out, and I couldn't work it very well.
Yeah.
But
using electronic apertures on those cameras is always a little weird to me. It's just not convenient.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty great. A couple little complaints, like the ISO only changes in 1-stop increments.
I keep thinking to myself, did we not know something? Because we're looking at it going, come on, you can't certainly go in stops. You got to do third stops.
Yeah, right. It seems like a no-brainer.
It does.
There were a couple things about that. It's hard to remember exactly what, but I feel like there were a couple things where I kept thinking, I have to be able to change like this. Why is this not?
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I go through the menu, and at first, I mean, the menu seems super simple, so I go through all the menus and wouldn't see anything. I'd just be like, okay, I guess it's not there. So I don't know if there's like a deeper secret, more complex menu that we're missing, or
the secret menu.
The secret
that
menu
has the third stop ISOs.
For instance, like when we were shooting outside, we shot everything in video mode in the studio because it's very controlled light and it's a quick turnaround, so we don't want to have to grade everything. But we went outside, and when we were shooting in the setting sun, we decided to shoot film mode so we wouldn't, have the high contrast. And I could not figure out how to get the LUT, the video LUT, to go to the EVF.
So you got the LUT on the screen, on the 4-inch screen,
monitor,
but
not have it on the EVF. So
okay, so let's take a look at some of the footage that we shot.
Pretty basic stuff. I mean, we had an interview set up with this guy. Different LED lights, so there's a little bit of green on the background, a little bit of magenta on him. I noticed the camera is sensitive to magenta in the midtones, I think.
It seems like it.
I feel like it pulls, like, people tend to look a little reddier on this camera than they do on others.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. I feel like it's something you can time out pretty easy. But I also wonder if it's like a little more sensitive to green as well, and that's why the background looked a little more green. Because the CRA is like a 98, you said.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like a 98. So I was shocked at how green. I started wondering, well, maybe there's this paint on the wall. Although if you look across this thing, it's very green on this side, which is this.
But it's also, I mean, it's magenta. It's sort of more magenta in the shadows, so.
It certainly is. Yeah. So it may be in the light that we're working with.
A lot of factors going on, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But I would say the camera's a little more sensitive to the magenta spectrum, at least.
Yep.
Shot some product stuff. Now, these sensors are notorious for having fixed pattern noise issues. So I decided, what the heck, let's take this really dark shot and push it like 5 or 6 stops. And there's no fixed pattern noise at all. In fact, I was surprised at how clean it is.
It's really clean.
Pushing the ISO like that. I wondered if it was a product of shooting in Rec 709, if we shot in log, if it would do the same thing. So I also took our sunset shot we have later in the day and raised the shadows from that 4 or 5 stops, and same thing, there was no fixed pattern noise. So again, I mean, I don't know if that's just this model that we have, or if it's, they're kind of getting that under control,
But that now becomes a disclaimer about anything we think is right. Is it just we got a good one? Is that what you're...
I think it's a valid question.
Okay. Well, so there's in the comments, if you're seeing fixed pattern noise in yours that you got, let us know. Let us know if you're not, so maybe we get a sense of where that's at. So.
Yeah, I would love to hear that that's not an issue on any of these cameras.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yep.
Other stuff we shot in the studio, I mean, the skin tone looks really great. I kind of like how it pulls out magenta a little more compared to like a red camera that really struggles with magenta traditionally. There is some...
I love it when they're kind of on the magenta side.
Yeah.
I think it's a better look.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, it is a rolling shutter, so when we fire strobes and stuff, it doesn't fill the frame all the way. But, I mean, the only camera I know of that doesn't have that kind of problem is the Alexa.
Yeah, that's... which is a couple of dollars more than $6,000.
So shooting outside, one thing I was surprised at grading this was how easy it was. I felt like when we tested the other camera, it was really hard to grade back and make it look
URSA
natural. Mini? Yeah, I felt like their skin looked super orange, even at a regular light. In this, their skin looks a little orange, but it's because the sun was setting. I mean, we're in Los Angeles, all the smog and everything.
Yeah, very warm. It was very warm. So this is actually a lot cleaner color-wise than what we had there on set. Much cleaner.
Yeah, much cleaner. I feel like this was, I mean, this grade, I didn't use a lot. I just applied contrast, pulled the blacks a little more, opened up the highlights a little more.
It looks fabulous.
I didn't even add saturation in this shot, and it looks great. Which was something I found interesting in most log profiles, like the Alexa's log or Red's red, white gamut and stuff. The color is really flat. In this, the color is almost all there. It's just the Luma Gamma,
I found it so much easier to look at than if I look at a log on like the C300. It's just like, it's so pasty, it's like I have no clue. But with this, I felt like I could calculate the exposure, if I could get a sense, it's looking right, it's all there. It was easy to work in. Very easy log to work in.
You do want to use your histograms, which they have a really nice histogram there, but you do want to use that because I did find myself kind of underexposing a little bit, and I have to be like, oh wait, the histogram's all crushed to the left. So overall, just really nice imagery.
Very nice imagery.
I don't know if they've changed it dramatically since the last one we tested, or.
Well, they have. They've made major upgrades. I mean,
that's true. I mean, the firmware's updated. They fixed a couple things.
And I think they've moved way ahead on this one.
The color looks a lot better to my eye, more natural. For $6,000, it's a killer deal.
It really is a killer deal. Yeah, I agree. I
think the biggest thing for me is the usability, like the ergonomics, like the screen. You can't trust that monitor at all. Like
not for exposure.
Skin tone was super weird. It would clip really early. There's a lot more information there than is on the monitor. So use your histogram. Maybe invest in the EVF. It might even be worth it to just.
How much more is EVF? It's like $1,800.
$1,300, which is actually a killer deal itself. I mean, the next 1080p EVF is like $4,000.
Yeah.
That's Reds.
Yeah, it's an incredible deal.
Yeah.
So if you buy the camera for $6 and an EVF for $13, $7,300, you're.
73. I think it comes out to like $8,000 if you get like the shoulder stuff and the battery.
Yeah. It does have 2 slots. It has the SD and the CFast.
And the CFast, which is nice. So I guess the SD can record ProRes in 4K. It can only record RAW in 2K, which I'm assuming would mean you'd window the sensor. I probably wouldn't run RAW to SD cards anyways. I've never had a good experience with that. But I mean, ProRes, 4K ProRes on SD cards, that's awesome. And especially because CFast cards are so stinking expensive.
They're so expensive,
So
man.
expensive. I mean, we were getting, in ProRes 4444, you're getting 24 minutes of 24 minutes of footage on a 256 gigabyte card, which is going to cost you $300 or $400.
$300 or $400. So what's hard about that is that, say if you're out on CFast cards and you're shooting a documentary style day and you're running from one thing to the next, you can't offload, and so you got to have a whole pile of these cards. So you're in $2,000-$3,000 into cards.
I mean, you could shoot a lower quality codec. You could shoot 2K instead. That's the thing.
But you're crazy to shoot 2K these days.
You know, I'm running into that because camera technology has just excelled so fast. Everybody's into 4K. My camera shoots 8K, and it's great. It's really nice to be able to capture those high fidelity resolutions, but computer technology and storage technology is kind of plateauing in a sense in terms of what we can handle.
Although with LaCie's new Thunderbolt 3, the drives we've been using, those are screaming fast.
Are they screaming fast?
Oh yeah, they
and
really are.
How much data can you have on those?
I have a 12 big that has 96 terabytes of space in it.
Whoa!
It's a
96.
tower, 96 terabytes.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
It's about $10,000.
Oh my gosh.
But, you know, per terabyte, you know, I mean, so you save your money on your URSA Mini Pro, but you're going to have to take your $6,000 and buy yourself, I mean, for all these cameras, all of them. But everybody, I mean, TVs, when I went to buy a TV at Christmas time, my son's going, well, you're crazy not to buy a 4K TV. You know, so content, people are going to want 4K content.
Everybody's moving to 4K. I still think it's, in terms of editing and rendering, I mean, the thing is, you have to have a top of the line machine to render or to work online 4K.
Oh, you got to do
footage
proxies
nowadays. I mean, we're back to proxy, which isn't a bad thing. I mean,
I know it is
it's
back
just
to proxies,
like
which
12
is
hours of transcoding.
Yeah, which is what everyone hated about the original. You know, when the Mark II came out, it was like you had to make proxy. I mean, it's just a big problem. But we're back to that in order to make things work. So
you go to Best Buy and you look at this top of the line Samsung 4K TVs, and the still imagery will look really great. But if you watch their video clips, you can see the compression like crazy. It's super blocky, even though it's 4K, because the data rate is just like, you have to squish all that data into this tiny little, 12 megabit per second data rate. So there are trade-offs.
There are trade-offs. So there we go. We digress.
What can I say? I shoot an 8K camera. I mean, I'm an idiot.
So you need 2 of these big 12 drives.
Oh gosh, do I ever?
I feel like that these days. It's all about storage. You know?
It's all about storage.
Yeah.
We should do an episode on storage.
You know, it's a fabulous topic. We did one a week or so ago, just showing our in-studio workflow, and it's a great topic because I'd love to get your take on what we did there and just see what you would have, what you'd think about it. So
I'm gonna watch it.
All right, so there you go. He's saying that he's going to watch it because it hasn't posted yet, because we shot this after we posted it, before it went up on the channel.
You're killing the magic. Movie magic. So who do we think this camera is for?
I see a great application for doing documentary kinds of work, because of this onboard sound and the ease to carry it and move around. It's not super heavy. Affordability. You got to have 2 of them.
I mean, documentarians are rolling in the dough, so.
Oh, obviously. Yeah. They could just buy 3 and 4 of those Alexas and go out and shoot. It really does make it nice. You can do 2 cameras on a documentary easily for a really reasonable price.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think it's an item you would get to rent out, because there are going to be a million of them, for one thing. So, I mean, the market's going to be flooded. And Blackmagic just doesn't have the name. People don't go, oh, you should have Blackmagic.
Yeah. Doesn't have the...
Yeah. But I think it's an owner-operator camera, So if you're out shooting your stuff right now on a DSLR, if you're out shooting your stuff on like a C100 or a Sony FS7 even, and you want to step into ProRes or RAW, you know, or a nicer color space, I think it's a really good option. I mean, you're getting specs competitive at $20,000 or $30,000 cameras for $8,000, and
yeah. If we had the money here on the Slanted Lens, we would take out all the different cameras and drop them on a concrete floor from 10 feet above and see how they survived.
You know, we should do that.
It'd be really interesting to see how each of the cameras survives the fall, you know.
I bet we would get a lot of views.
We probably would get a lot of views.
Angry people.
Yeah, we would definitely get that. When I smash old cameras that are worthless, I get people complaining.
Yeah, well, it's just stuff, guys. It's just stuff.
Just stuff. I think your perspective is absolutely right. Owner, operator, run and gun, you know, I think that it's a perfect camera for that. So there you have it, our thoughts on the Ursa Mini Pro. If you have any thoughts about cameras you'd like us to review, please let us know. Let us know what you think you'd like to see us look at.
If you own this camera or have used this camera, also tell us about that, because, I mean, we had it for a date. We would love to hear all about your experience. Are we right? Are we wrong?
Yep. Get it in the comment thread. We would love to get any feedback we can, and just get some kind of a thread going there that'll give people good information about the camera and help them see completely what they're about to purchase or did purchase. So there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this little review of the Ursa Mini Pro. I enjoyed shooting on it. I really did enjoy shooting on it.
Yeah, it's a fun
It was a
little
good
camera.
experience. So, all right, we'll keep those cameras rolling.
Keep on clicking.
Make sure you subscribe to the Slanted Lens. Come and join us. We have a lot of different ways to interact with the Slanted Lens. We've got a great Facebook group. We've got a business class you should join involved with us there, so you can make money with all this equipment that you're spending money on.
But who does that anyway?
Makes money? Yeah. Who has time for making money?
Making money on cameras? Crazy.
What a novel thought. So subscribe to the Slanted Lens.